Today I'm going to show you the 4 key strategies you need to know to maximize your Social Security benefit. Hi, I'm Josh Palmer, Director of Financial Planning for the Noble Group. I'm a certified financial planner with over 25 years of experience helping families plan and safeguard their financial futures. Over the years, I've seen a lot of people come in ready to file for Social Security. And after going over these 4 strategies and running the numbers on their unique situation, just a few small adjustments completely change their long-term outcome. And when you're done watching, you'll have the opportunity to have us run the numbers on your situation for free. I'll explain more at the end of the video. Social Security is funded through payroll taxes. You've probably seen it on your paycheck under FICA. You pay 6.2% of your income and your employer matches it. So together, 12.4% of your wages goes into the system every year. But that only applies up to a certain limit. In 2025, the cap is $168,600. Anything you earn above that isn't taxed for Social Security, and it doesn't increase your benefit. Your benefit is based on your 35 highest earning years, adjusted for inflation. The system looks back at your lifetime earnings, picks your top 35 years, and calculates your average indexed monthly earnings. If you work fewer than 35 years, the missing years count as zeros, and those zeros pull your average down. Here's a quick example. One of my clients, let's call her Linda, took a break from work in her 40s to raise her kids. She planned to retire at 61, but when we reviewed her earnings record, we saw that if she worked just 5 more years, even part-time, she could replace some of those 0 years with modest income. That single change increased her benefit by nearly $300 a month, and that's for life. That's over $100,000 more over her retirement just by working a little longer. Small adjustments like that can make a very big difference. Now here's something most people don't realize. Social Security is weighted. Your first dollars earned count more than your last ones. The first $1,226 of your average monthly earnings is multiplied by 90%. The next portion from $1,226 to $7,391 is multiplied by 32%. Anything above that is multiplied by just 15%. So the system is designed to replace a higher percentage of income for lower and middle earners. I once worked with a couple named Mark and Julie. Mark earned about twice as much as Julie throughout his career, so they assumed his benefit would be double hers. When we ran the numbers, his benefit was only about 32% higher. This was because of how those lower income brackets are weighted. Understanding that formula helps you see that Social Security isn't just about earning more, it's about how your lifetime earnings fit into the system's design. Now let's talk about timing, which is one of the biggest decisions you'll make. Your full retirement age, or FRA, depends on your birth year. If you were born in 1960 or later, your FRA is 67. You can start collecting as early as 62, but if you do, your benefit will be permanently reduced by about 5 to 6% per year. On the other hand, if you wait past 67, your benefit grows by about 8% per year up until age 70. After that, it stops growing, so there really is no reason to wait longer than 70. Let's go back to Mark and Julie for a second. When we first met, they both planned to start benefits at 62. They were excited to travel and figured, why wait? But when we ran the projection in our financial planning software, the difference was eye-opening. If they started at 62, they'd receive about $4,675 a month combined. If they waited until 67, that jumped to $6,903. And if Mark and Julie waited until 70, it was nearly $8,731. That's a 46% increase in monthly income for life. And since Julie's survivor benefit depends on Mark's, waiting protected her income later on as well. So with that understanding on how Social Security works, let's move into the 4 key strategies that could help you increase your benefit. Strategy number 1, work a full 35 years. Any missing years count as zeros, and those zeros drag your average down. But those final years don't need to be high stress or high paying. Even part-time work can make a real difference. One of my clients, Steve, was a retired engineer who left his corporate job at 60 but loved woodworking. He started building custom furniture in his garage, just a few projects a month. Those extra years of modest income replaced some zeros in his record and raised his benefit by a few $100s a month. That's thousands more over his lifetime, all from doing something he enjoyed. Sometimes those fun years at the end of your career turn out to be the most valuable ones for your Social Security record. Strategy number 2, delay your benefit if it fits your situation. I know waiting isn't easy. Nobody likes the idea of leaving money on the table, but Social Security rewards patience. Every year you delay past your full retirement age, your benefit grows by roughly 8% per year until age 70. That's guaranteed, risk-free growth that's not tied to the market, interest rates, or inflation. I had a client, Tom, who planned to start benefits at 65. His wife was still working and they had saved enough to cover expenses for a few years. When we compared the numbers, his benefit would grow from about $2,800 at 65 to over $4,100 by 70. This added an extra $1,300 a month or $15,600 a year, every year for life. When he saw the side-by-side in his financial plan, he laughed. He said, "Josh, that's the best raise I've ever gotten without doing any extra work." Now, delaying isn't right for everyone. If your health isn't great or you need the income sooner, that's perfectly fine. But if you can bridge the gap with savings, part-time income, or a spouse's paycheck, that patience can really pay off. Strategy number 3, use spousal benefits wisely. If you're married or divorced after a marriage that lasted at least 10 years, you may be eligible for a benefit based on your spouse's record. You can receive up to 50% of your spouse's full retirement benefit if it's higher than your own. Here's how that works. Let's say your benefit would be $1,200 a month, but your spouse's is $3,000 a month. You could collect $1,500 instead by claiming a spousal benefit, and your spouse still keeps their full amount. I met with a couple we'll call Robert and Angela. Angela hadn't worked outside the home for most of their marriage, so she assumed she wasn't eligible for any benefits. When I explained that she could receive up to half of Robert's, her jaw dropped. She said, "Wait, I get half of his?" Sure enough, she qualified for about $1,400 a month. For many couples, that's a game changer. It's money you don't want to leave unclaimed. Strategy number 4, understand survivor benefits. If one spouse passes away, the surviving spouse can receive 100% of the deceased spouse's benefit, as long as it's higher than their own. This is especially important for couples where one person earns significantly more. I worked with Paul and Denise. Paul was the higher earner and he wanted to start collecting early at 63. Denise's benefit was smaller and she was likely to outlive him. When we modeled their plan, we saw that if Paul claimed early, both his benefit and Denise's future survivor benefit would be permanently reduced. So instead, we had him wait until 70. That gave him an 8% increase each year for 7 years and guaranteed Denise that higher benefit for life. Social Security isn't just about your paycheck, it's about preserving your spouse's income in the years ahead. Now here's the big picture. Social Security decisions should never be made in isolation. Every choice of when to claim, whether to keep working, how to use spousal or survivor benefits can affect your taxes, your investments, and your overall retirement income plan. That's why we use retirement planning tools to bring everything together. Maybe claiming early lets you delay drawing from your IRA, or maybe waiting allows you to complete Roth conversions before required minimum distributions begin. Every situation is different, but when you can see the full picture, you can make confident, informed decisions instead of emotional ones. And we want to help you see the full picture for your own situation. We're offering free video reviews to our viewers who click the link in the description or scan the QR code on screen. After filling out our quick financial survey, we'll review your information and record a video with personalized recommendations. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.